George Miller's a young comedian who has been with us before, and the audience loved him last time here. He has a genuine talent to amuse, which is not an easy thing to have. And he'll be appearing at the Ice House in Pasadena next week, beginning Thursday, the 21st of September through the 26th. Would you welcome back, please, George Miller. George?
Well, thank you very much. First show that I did here, I talked about all my relatives, and everyone in the family is strange. It's not just me, you know, it's the whole group. And I remember when I was real little, if my dad got mad at me, he'd always threaten me by taking off his belt. And that always caused his pants to fall down, and then his dad would come in and spank him. It was very... The kid I remember when I was real little was David Felch. He was like 6 years old and weighed about 400 pounds. And, well, you know how mean other kids can be? Fatty, fatty, 2x4, can't get through the kitchen door. Which is not only mean, it was also inaccurate. Obviously, he'd been through the kitchen door thousands of times. Kid I remember in high school was a guy named Marshall. And Marshall was real dumb, but he shocked everybody because he won a lot of money on one of those TV quiz programs. Because he wasn't intelligent, but he had tremendous knowledge in little-known areas. He won $40,000. His category was thieves, perverts, and paid assassins, who later became men of God. My brother was 1 year ahead of me in high school, and he went on to become an inept doctor. He cheated his way through medical school. And, hey, one time he was called to the scene of a shooting. He was really dramatic. He says, "That bullet has got to come out immediately," which is really stupid. It was lodged in the couch. I like to talk about doctors and hospitals. I was in a car wreck about a year ago, and I hurt my leg, and I had to go to the hospital, and they put me on Demerol for painkiller. Did you ever get that? That's the drug which actually makes you glad you had the accident. Thank you. I first learned about drugs in high school. We had this halfback on a football team, Hector Brown. He played every game on acid, took LSD before every game, and he could run right through the opposing team. But then he'd always stop. Said he had to wait for the freight train to go by. After high school, I came down to California, and my first job down here, I was selling encyclopedias door to door, which is really hard because if the response was negative, I was never quick enough to know what to say next. You know, I would try, but I wasn't fast enough. Is the man of the house at home? No. Oh, well, I'd like very much to speak with him. When are his days off? He's dead. He has them all off. Then I drew unemployment for a long time. I don't like unemployment because they send you out to look for work, you know. And, well, you always have to fill out all those forms, you know. I don't know about you. When I apply for a job, I'll say anything to get it. I'll lie about my qualifications. I don't care. Are you bilingual? Oh, sure, I do it with anybody. Last 3 years, I've been working over at the Comedy Store on Sunset Strip. It's a nightclub. And the good thing about working over there is you never know who's going to drop in from night to night. Like a couple months ago, Ralph Nader was there to kind of, you know, inspect the place. And, no, he was, really. I love Ralph Nader because I'm always getting burned on consumer transactions. Like when I first got to Los Angeles, I had very little money because I'd been working a lot of shows like this. And went to really a seedy hotel, you know, with insects crawling around the room, and I bought some of that discount insect killer. Did you ever try that? What a jip. What a weak product, boy. Had to catch the bugs by hand and then dip them in this stuff. Not a good product, no. You know what? The desk clerk at that hotel asked me what I still consider to be the single dumbest question I've ever heard. I was going out one morning, and I said, if I get any phone calls, I'll be back in a couple hours. I'll be back about 11. And the guy says, 11 o'clock? I said, no, 11 a chicken. Never understood that. What other famous people come to the Comedy Store? Oh, Jimmy Walker, JJ. He's over there quite a bit. And you all know Jimmy Walker. It's Nipsey Russell after rickets set in. Sometimes you'll be working in a nightclub and there'll be somebody really obnoxious come in. A couple of weeks ago, maybe you guys have found yourselves in the same predicament. I didn't know what to do. There's a big guy at the bar, about 6'4", about 240 pounds, and he's bad-mouthing everybody, and I'm not a tough person, you know, but I lost my temper momentarily. And I went up to the guy and I shoved him up against the bar and I said, I don't care how big you are. If you ever say anything like that in here again, I'm going to bust you right in the mouth. I was really hot. I told him, I said, now you take your guide dog and get out. Like my mom had told me, you know, when I came to California, she said there's a very large gay community down there. Now, I always overreact to everything, right? First night I was at the club, I was in the restaurant part, and there's a guy over here, he's kind of giving me the eye, and I thought, well, maybe he's like that. And if he says anything, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to come right out and ask. Yeah. So I'm chewing, and he's looking, and I'm chewing, and he's looking, and finally he says, say, would you please pass me the salt? I said, yeah, here you go. Are you gay? He said, no. Do they use a lot of salt? Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. His name is George Miller, and I have a feeling, you know, you get that gut instinct sometime that he's heading for better things. Yeah, he's very bright, very fine. We'll take a break.